Deion Sanders opened up to Antonio Brown by sharing the story of how he attempted suicide after getting caught up in trying to live up to the hype and trying to always be who the fans wanted him to be. Deion also commended AB for reaching out and getting help before he'd gotten to that point. So Shannon, what do you make of Deion sharing this with AB?
Skip, you know I know Deion,
Yep.
Time as we call him, very well. He's probably one of the closest friends that I have that I didn't actually play with.
Yep.
And so we talk all the time. We talk periodically. A lot, I would say probably a couple of times a month. And known him for a long time. And what he's trying to do, he's trying to have a positive impact on AB. And what he's saying is like, bruh, that AB persona is what's getting you in trouble.
I agree.
It's the same thing as the prime time that led me down a path that I almost didn't come back from. He said, even though I was at the rock bottom, I found a way, I found my way to, and he talks about this, he's heavily into the Bible. He said, I found my way back home. The differences between AB and Time is that Time internalized his. AB lashes out on everybody else. He takes it out on everybody. It's everybody else's fault.
Good point.
And so I think the thing is that Time says, bro, if you want to get back in the league, and you should be in the league, you're still a top receiver, you're going to have to change some things about the way you do business. You're going to have to change the way you behave. He knows it, and Time is a big team guy. Hey, do you, but don't nothing come before the team. Don't interrupt the team. And a lot of times in what we saw, he interrupted the team in Pittsburgh his last 4 or 5 years. He was interrupting the team even before he even got on the team in Oakland. Now, he wasn't going to be a problem, the New England situation, if he could have just held his thumbs for a couple more days, Kim. That might have been an okay situation for him in New England.
Yep.
But I think Time is trying to reach out to him, trying to mentor him, and trying to show, and Time carries a lot of weight in the NFL. And if teams see that, oh, you're talking to Time and what he represents, it's like, okay, let's give Antonio Brown another shot. So I commend him. I think Antonio has learned a lesson. He knows. They're going to play by my rule. The NFL is not going to play by any player's rule in the NFL. Ever, never, ever, ever. That's not going to happen.
Yep.
Because if you think they're going to play by your rules, guess what? They'll change the rules and find a way to get you up out of there. So he's finding that out. But I commend Time for taking the time to put in with AB and says, bruh, you going about this all wrong. Now, you got fewer years left than you actually think. Don't waste them talking about, man, I wish I had done this. Because a lot of times, Skip, we have a revision. Man, I sure wish I'd have trained a little harder. Or I sure wish I wouldn't have said this or done that. And Time is trying to get to him and say, bro, this time is not too late, but you got to change your way. The behavior that you're exhibiting, that's not good. And I'm not proclaiming to be some mental health expert, but I guess Time was saying, hey, I was in that ditch also, bro. I was down there low. And it was about to do some things. I was about to leave here.
Yeah.
Take my advice, bro. Clean yourself up and get back out on the field.
I love everything you just said because I love Deion Sanders. But I will be the first to tell you, I did not love him when I covered him. He was difficult.
He can be.
He could be arrogant. He could be thin-skinned. But I always just revered him because he is the GOAT. And it's not even close to me. He is the GOAT cornerback.
Well, remember he got Tim McCarver. Tim McCarver criticized him for
water on his head.
Where he was going back Atlanta. He was playing Atlanta and for the Braves. And so he flew from Miami to be with Atlanta and Pittsburgh, and he says he's being selfish.
Tim's a good man. He didn't deserve it.
No, he didn't.
Deion saw the light in ways that a GOAT has a hard time seeing the light. And he wrote about it in his book. He drove himself off a cliff attempting to end it because he had reached the point, as he said, of devastation, going through a marital breakup, and he just hit bottom. And I loved what you said about the disconnect that he finally came to experience, to come to grips with, which is the disconnect between the real is Deion Sanders. The unreal is prime time. Right? That's, and you call him the nickname, but now he's Deion. In his heart and mind, he's Deion now. And Deion is really a good man.
He is.
And Deion's heart is in the right place. And he has dedicated so much time to mentoring young players coming up. They just have to open their ears and hear. So when I watched that video yesterday, I didn't watch Deion speak, I watched AB listen. AB can he can fool you. He can come on like, and I was trying to think, are those words hitting home? Because he was spitting some deep, real truth at him. There's AB, he'll just get you in trouble because everybody wants you to be AB, and then you start thinking, I got to beat AB off the field.
Right.
Well, then that happens and that happened. You're exactly right. Deion went inward, AB lashes outward.
Right.
And yet the real is Antonio. And if he can come to grips with the real, and again, Deion said that he is undergoing some sort of counseling. Is it taking? Is it connecting? Is it hitting home with Antonio? Is he hearing it? Because we've both been around Antonio. He can give you, yeah.
He's so soft-spoken,
Yeah.
Skip, and I think that's the thing. You hear his voice, what I'm saying. And, and he go right back out there and do what he said he wasn't going to do again.
Yeah, and I loved your point also. Deion was always about the team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was an entertainer, and when he picked a ball off, he could strut his stuff the way nobody could.
Yep.
And I loved watching him play receiver for the Dallas Cowboys in 1995. But in the end, when it was time, time was about team.
Yep.
And AB has never been really about team. He's been about AB. He's a solo act. So will AB, I don't even know if he's ever going to get reinstated.
Right.
Because he's still facing some serious charges.
Right.
He's got
He played one and he got community service and he got probation. So that's one down, but there's the other one that's still looming.
He has 2 accusations hanging over him right now from 2 different women. We'll see how that plays out. We'll see how the commissioner acts on this, what he rules on this. I'm not sure he's going to be allowed to play this year.
Right.
But I believe he'll get another chance at some point, and he better be ready to seize it because it might be his last chance.
Right.
Because he's had a whole bunch of 3rd and 4th chances along the way here.
Right.
So, again, I just want to say to Deion, we appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Because you speak real, and maybe you're saving a life here as you almost lost your own.
Right. I hope so, Skip. I hope AB can turn it around. I mean, he's done enough destruction to his life and those close around him that care the most about him. So hopefully this conversation that he had with Time that leads him in a path that the path of right. And he no longer engages in destructive behavior, not only for him, but for his team and teammates. So hopefully this thing takes hold and hopefully he can get this thing resolved in the court system and then Commissioner does what he needs to do and AB can get back sooner rather than later.
Ooh.
Speaks to Deion's character. How cool, Shannon, that you guys have such a good relationship. And every time we've had him on the show, just such a special person. And I hope AB takes the advice. We're going to go back to the potential return of Colin Kaepernick. Is it possible that a team may sign him in the future? Next on Undisputed.